Good evening.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank
Two
you.
phone shouting.
Two phone shawty. This
Two
feels
phone
so
shouting go
good.
crazy. All right, y'all. My name is Chanel and I'm the host for tonight. And tonight we have,
Kia Nicole. I'm your co-host for tonight.
and tonight we're going to be talking about Women's History Month. Okay. So we have a few questions. I know we haven't, I don't want to say we haven't been consistent. We've been busy. You had Kia's birthday, you had my birthday, so we took a little break in the month of March, but we're back.
We're back
Okay.
and better.
Let's hope I can read tonight. I can't see what I look like.
Oh, I have mine on. I can
What
try.
you said?
Hey, cousin. My cousin said, hey, ladies.
Hey.
We're back. I know it's been a while since you've seen our faces.
We're back.
Uh-huh.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off tonight. I'm not sipping on anything. Are you sipping on anything?
Water.
I got one close to me, but it's not open. So,
yeah, water.
What is Women's History Month and why is it important to recognize it?
Okay, so Women's History Month is all in the name, obviously,
Right.
but it's basically just to recognize and celebrate women across history as well as in modern day history as well, and just to raise awareness of the struggles that we go through and also the triumphs that we overcome. And it's important because it also inspires the future generation of women, our future leaders, professionals, entrepreneurs, etc. Just to see what the women in history have done and to, let our future women know like that's also possible for you as well. So I think it's very important to recognize us as women. We go through so many hardships. We have to fight sometimes 10 times harder than the man. And it's important that, we get our acknowledgement because we be the brains behind a lot of these operations. That's all I'm saying. So that's why it's important.
I agree.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm. It's a way to show women and celebrate their achievements. A lot of times, I don't want to say we get all the praise and men don't, but a lot of times, a lot of stuff that we do get overlooked. I feel like a lot of times we are criticized for being in certain fields that we're in. For example, like being a doctor or like, just stepping out. It's usually like a male dominant field. It's an opportunity to tie in like mental health as well, focus on women, but because we are focused on women this month, which is why we're touching on it. But it is a way to reevaluate. It is a way to kind of sit down and process and, just to check in with yourself. A lot of times we do so many things as women. We are moms, we're caretakers. Sometimes we play both roles. Sometimes, we take on majority of the responsibilities, and it is times where you can get broken down. It is times where you can get stressed out. And a lot of times we hold that in and we don't express that. The fact that you are able to have an outlet now, mental health is looked at a little bit more widely. Back then I feel like it's more of a stigma, but now we're able to kind of tap into that and, be okay with sharing it with your friends, your family, and just kind of paving the way for the ladies coming up as well. Mm-hmm. Can you share an influential figure that have paved the way?
But Bessie Coleman, we kind of grew up learning a little bit about her. But if you don't know, she is the first Black woman to become a pilot and get her pilot license. And a fun fact, I don't know, I didn't know it, so I think it's a fun fact. She actually learned French so that she could go to France and train there because in France they do allow Black women to get their pilot license. So I thought that was amazing, and I know, we'd be a little on edge with flying these days. Well, some of us are, and some of us is like, God got us, but some people are still on edge about flying. So I was like, you know what? I think it's good to just shed light on a woman pilot, especially with her being the first Black woman pilot, because it's not all pilots are bad.
Michelle Obama, there we go, the wife. Okay.
She changed like how the nutrition is in like the school system.
Yes, she did do that.
She did that. She made more healthier options and stuff when he was in office. I don't know if that's still going on, but I know she was a huge advocate for health. And she was honestly one of the most active outside of Roosevelt, Eleanor Roosevelt, because she was very active too. Outside of her, she was like one of the most active first ladies I saw, because usually the first ladies don't do nothing. Like they just kind of be in the background. You see them standing next to their husband during speeches or whatever. But Michelle Obama was very active in the community, so she definitely made history as being like one of I think the most active and influential first ladies outside of Eleanor.
How can mental health challenge impact women differently than men?
So I did research this, guys, because I want to come with some facts. Some of these we kind of see is very prevalent. For one, men tend to shy away from receiving help and going after the resources that are available, such as therapy. They tend to bottle up whatever mental battles that they're facing. Women tend to like go and seek the help. So I will say that's one thing. Another thing is women have significantly higher frequency of like depression and anxiety in adulthood, while men, they tend to have a higher prevalence of like alcohol abuse, or like they seek alcohol and substance abuse to cope, and also like maybe antisocial behaviors. And we do see that a lot, you know. It's often men that we are seeing abusing drugs and alcohol and things of that sort, and that's their way of coping. Not all men, but that's how a lot of men cope with the mental battles that they're facing. Another thing is with us women, because obviously our bodies are different from men, so we experience issues within our bodies that men, they will never have to experience. So that can lead to our mental health being negatively impacted, such as being on our menstrual or maybe infertility. Also, as we get older, we may experience bladder issues. That's more common in women than it is in men. And all of those things can lead to like mental distress and just overall like depression. And so those are a few differences. There's probably a lot more, but those are like the ones that I felt like shedding light on. So yeah.
Okay, so I was listening to you, but it does say here like women does have significantly higher rate of depression. I think you touched on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety in adulthood, and I feel like again that kind of stems. I don't want to use the typical black man, but that stems from us being. We're able to have an outlet to express ourselves. We're able to. It's so you're told it's okay to cry. It's okay to share how you feel. It's okay to be let down. Like we're also as women able to uplift each other a lot easier. With men, it's kind of like if they were to break down to their friends or they were to open up, it's kind of like it's shown as a weakness in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, and it's not, we're all human. We're all going to feel things. We're all going to experience things. So I feel like with us, which is kind of surprising that we have a higher depression and anxiety rate while the whole time we're actually able to express and share how we feel naturally, and we're not
Yeah.
as stigmatized for it as men are. So, and like you said, also with men, the substance abuse and disorders are higher with them as well. How do hormonal changes throughout a woman's life, such as during pregnancy or menopause, impact mental health?
Not really. Not really. So I can't touch on it. I didn't touch on it
And
specific. I touched on like being on your menstrual, infertility and stuff. But I'm gonna mainly speak from pregnancy point of view because I've never went through menopause. But some of the symptoms overlap, I'm sure. So with both, it can show up as a woman experiencing mood swings, anxiety, and depression. Those are a few things. Now, speaking of pregnancy, studies show that during the first trimester of a woman's pregnancy, they experience the most anxiety during that first trimester. It also goes to show that with depression, it's super common in pregnancy. You can have it during and obviously after postpartum. And 10 to 15 women out of 100 usually go through depression when they're pregnant or after they're pregnant. So it's a very common thing. And again, these are things that only women will go, like a man doesn't go through pregnancy or anything. So that's why I think depression, all of that is a lot more prevalent in women because the things our bodies have to go through life. Also, stress from pregnancy complications, lack of support from family or friends, like all of that leads to a woman's mental health being heavily impacted. Maybe she has to worry about her finances. Like some women, they have to worry about, where they're gonna live now that they're adding another member to the family, or like it just becomes a lot because with the baby comes a lot. So it's a lot of outside factors as well that could impact a woman while she's pregnant. Um, your body starts changing. So having body image issues that can lead to a woman feeling depressed or feeling like not herself. Fatigue. You be tired as heck. No matter how much sleep you get, it's like it's never enough at certain, especially in the beginning of your pregnancy. Speaking for myself, in the beginning, I was the most tired. So fatigue, sleep problems, you get real uncomfortable, especially during that last trimester. So it's just a lot, but all of those factor into a woman's mental health when they are pregnant. And some of that can also be the same for menopause, but I can only speak from a pregnancy point of view.
I
So yeah.
will agree, sis. Being that we are moms, I can contribute to that as well. I wanted to take the route of like having a monthly just on your monthly every month. With PMS, and also too, I feel like that has a lot of changes. Affects your mood. It affects your eating habits. It affects like your activity levels. Sometimes you're more drained, sometimes you're more tired, sometimes you're more active. You know, eating wise, you're eating maybe something more salty, something more sweet. Like it does kind of throw off as well. So that's another factor. I feel like with women, we that monthly, and also too, you can also have what is it called? Unbalanced hormones, or the PCOS and everything like that. And I feel like as you get older, it's changed, and sometimes it's not hereditary. It's just just how your natural body is. You can take on a lot of symptoms that you're not used to taking on. Excessive hair growth and all kinds of hair loss. Alopecia. A lot of things can come into factor and come into play as our body changes. And I think the platform is presented more for us because we go through so much more than men do. So I do understand how that can have a lot more impact for us, I guess, as we age. I will agree to that. And then speaking of pregnancy, I feel like also too when I don't want to say your first time pregnancy, but most times, some people are affected differently. Your pain tolerance is also another thing, and I'm taught that pain is okay, and you're supposed to accept whatever come with the responsibilities of being a mother. But sometimes it's like your body is going through changes, and it can affect you positively or it can affect you negatively. In the first 20 weeks, you're stressed out. Am I gonna is the baby gonna be healthy? Am I gonna be able to carry the baby? It's like a first time thing as a mom. So you're not sure what your body can and can't do until you put it through it. So I feel like a lot of times I don't want to say our chances we're more affected to some extent. I guess you could say way more than men due to those things that we have to process and go through.
Right. And not to take away from it, men definitely have their own battles, of course, but I think we're subjected to a lot more.
Right.
Just simply for being a woman,
Right.
we just go through a lot more. But men definitely have their own battles, so we're not taking away from what a man experiences. We know that they also can be battling a lot of mental health.
With menopause, well, obviously we haven't gone through menopause or something. It's like what is it that most women always say?
Hot flashes and stuff.
Right.
I hear that is so real.
Right.
Sweat.
You're sweating. Right. So that's something we haven't experienced yet, but it's almost like you
that's
kind of
scary.
prepare yourself for those things to come. And a lot of times it's like, I'm like, yeah, men might have a few issues here and there. And I'm like, sometimes I process, I'm like, what do y'all go through?
No, but for real.
Right. Outside of like emotional struggles, outside of like everyday thing, I'm like, we got to be the one to carry the kids. We have to deal with a monthly. We have to deal with pain. We have to deal with mainly raising the kids because, a lot of times it's just that as mom, we're more present, we're more hands-on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sometimes outside of like emotional baggages and things that men may face growing up, it's kind of like, they don't really have like the more, how do you say, like the pain side of things. Like they're not having to really experience what we're going through. And I'm like, so.
Do they have something similar to menopause that they go through?
And maybe like prostate stuff. I know it's like,
that's I know they do have like other things like that are specific to their body. Okay.
As far as going on Amazon and ordering the little fake, what is it called? Contraction things and putting on them.
Girl.
And, apart from that, I don't know. Okay, so it's 8:20. We can probably hop into the this or that section. Or actually, I can ask, what are some organizations or resources that offer mental health support for women?
Okay, I have a couple.
Okay.
So, based off the first thing Google showed me, there's a list, but I just took the first two. Thank you. So, the first one is National Alliance on Mental Illness. And the way that's written, I'm assuming men or women can, call that line because it doesn't say specifically women. So National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, and then the Maternal Mental Health Leadership Organization. That sounds more so women because it says maternal, but those are two.
Women's Ministry Retreat could be an organization that offers that. I feel like going to psychologists, going to therapy sessions, and just booking things. You don't have to be going through something to book your therapy session. You could just do it for the fact of wanting to express it. It's okay to talk to someone that doesn't know you because you feel less judged in the process of it versus maybe talking to a family member, talking to your loved one, talking to your friends. It's kind of like, oh, here she go again. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you do become repetitive. Sometimes you are going through something and it's not as easy because someone may not have been dealt the same cards as you. So speaking to someone who is from a professional standpoint, I feel like can help us as well. So those would be mine. Women's retreat.
I agree.
And, yeah.
Those are good ones. Yeah, find like a local support group for women.
Right.
You definitely can always find local things within your area as well.
Facebook
So
is a
that's
good
good.
resource as well, because one thing Facebook gonna do is add you to a group. You're gonna find
Facebook
people
is a good outlet.
Right, that think the same way you do. Especially like if you're a first time mom, you can find moms that are asking questions and you can share it. It's also like, you're going through something a lot of times and we think, okay, well maybe we're the only ones going through something. It's like, no, there's people going through worse, people going through the same thing as well. It's just that it takes courage to speak up about it so that you can find those, like communities as well. And now, just doing your regular research on Google, you can't go wrong with WebMD. I'm kidding. Don't use no
WebMD is crazy. Just Google and then you go from there. WebMD don't be wrong. They do be right. It's just
it makes
you gotta go to the doctor because WebMD is gonna give you a general of everything that could possibly be wrong, and we're just gonna focus on the negative.
WebMD gonna make you feel like you on your last days.
Exactly, like you are in your last days. They definitely will.
So this or that, meditation or deep breathing exercises.
Meditation or deep breathing.
Meditation is more like you're sitting. It's more like, I guess you could say meditation as in like yoga. You may be sitting still and like focus on your zen, and then there's breathing, like you're actually doing exhale, inhale.
Baby, I don't even do both. I don't know how I'm surviving. But I would say probably I don't do neither one of them. But I probably would do more so the deep breathing.
Okay.
More so than the meditation, probably. Yeah, I think I would probably say deep breathing. I mean, I pray. I don't know if that's a meditation, but other than that,
that is meditating. You're praying to someone and you're focused on something. So
okay, well, that counts. Then yeah, meditation.
Okay, I would say maybe breathing exercises because I feel like I don't know if you remember this, but in college when we had a little yoga class, I don't know if you remember. We used to go to.
I do remember you had me on yoga,
and I had fell into a deep trance. I don't know if you remember this. You probably don't.
You told me, and it stopped you from doing yoga.
Right.
That scared me too. So I ain't never want to go back to yoga.
Right. So for me, I wouldn't. If I'm doing meditation where I'm like not hearing like sounds to calm me down, I think I'll be okay. But the fact that because I've had like an out of body experience with meditation, like your girl went to yoga, there was chanting. Next thing you know, I couldn't wake up, and when I woke up, the instructor was out on top of me, and she was just like, she was snapping. I heard the snapping, but I couldn't get out of the trance. And then when I woke up, she's like, you fell asleep for 30 minutes. And I was like, ain't no way. So I'm like, ever since I experienced that with yoga, I'll take the breathing exercises. Y'all could keep any type of, y'all could keep it.
But see, that's what I'm saying, deep breathing. But you told me praying could be meditation. So, okay, so we're going to separate. Outside of praying, I'm going to say deep breathing too. Because meditation... Yeah, I don't mess with that either because I don't know what I'm focusing on.
Out of body experience.
Yeah, I don't want that. I've dealt with that in my sleep before. Have you ever dealt with that in your sleep? Like you can't wake up, like your body's stuck to the bed.
It's like sleep paralysis or something. No, I've never had that.
Like you're trying to get up, you're awake, but your body won't let you. Oh my gosh, it's the scariest thing ever.
It's just
that's a little too close to that. So
and if you're not occupying your body, something else will.
Exactly. So I'm like, I don't know, that'd be a demon or what, but.
You can hold that. Thank you. Meal prepping or cooking fresh every day?
I was just thinking today, I'm like, bro, I need to get into meal prep, even if I just meal prep 3 or 4 days, because I think it'll just help me just to eat a little healthier. Right. But so far, I've been doing what I do. I cook enough to last me for like 2 or 3 days, but I don't really like section it in different dishes and be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't do that, although I'm not opposed to doing it. But cooking fresh every day, no, I'm not doing that every day. So I guess I kind of meal prep, but I don't, in a sense. I don't know.
I would say cook periodically, like cook as needed. Like
that's what I do.
Right now, I can't speak to breakfast because that's just
breakfast don't count. Breakfast, you wake up, eat cereal, eat whatever
but
you
if
want.
We're saying like dinner, I feel like as needed. I wouldn't mind getting into meal prep, but I'm just like, damn, eating salmon after 5 days go crazy.
Man, I'm
So
telling you, I'm
I
like,
don't. It's just it might be a little bit more seasoned, but I might be at the doctor's office too asking questions. So it's like,
no, you probably gotta freeze them last 2 days.
I
You probably gotta put
don't.
those in the
I
freezer.
just feel like you could do with certain things, like maybe chicken. You might could get away with chicken, but like salmon and seafood, I'm a little bit more cautious with that because that's just I don't even
I
know.
get it.
I'm all done
I don't
right.
mess with that fish after like the third day,
Right.
so.
So it's like it's kind of hard, but I wouldn't mind meal prepping. But I feel like what you could do is probably meal prep like veggies and rice and the sides and stuff, and then maybe cook the meat fresh every couple of days. What you laughing at? What you say? No.
Cause that's defeating the purpose. Them people make their meat and all of that and put it in the dish.
All right. Well, kudos to who meal prep. I'm gonna eventually get into it, but I just
Uh-huh.
don't. I just don't know how I feel about salmon after 5 days.
Okay,
I'm a
maybe
little.
don't do the salmon. So then just do like they be doing like ground turkey. They be doing chicken. What else you do?
If you have ground turkey for too long, it could create worms, babe. I'm good.
Stop. Them people be making taco salads and eating it for.
Okay, so I just feel like I mean, okay, so I would say meal prep the sides and maybe cook the meat to last maybe every 2 days. You could do that, every 2 3
Yeah.
days versus having it sit in the fridge and be concerned.
What about the people
All right.
who eat their Thanksgiving food for 5 to 7 days?
But that's Thanksgiving. That's different. That ain't salmon. That's not seafood. That's different.
Again, it don't have to be seafood. You keep going to salmon. Just don't meal prep your salmon. Make that fresh. Make the other meats meal prep. Boom. There you go.
All right. Okay, morning workout or evening workout?
Morning. I'm more of a morning person. I know you're an evening. I'm a morning.
I am an evening workout person. I just feel like after I've had a long day and I'm like I have the mindset of okay, I'm getting off work, I'm energized. One thing about it, when it's time to leave your job, you're gonna get all the energy in the world. So I feel like I get energized and I'm like, okay, I could just knock this out and I'm good. And that also helps to wind your mind down right before bed because you're more tired. So hop in that shower, you go straight to sleep. In the morning, my thighs or two might just hurt from all that exercise that I did.
Girl.
So,
I don't know. I feel like in the
I
morning
don't
it
know.
just it kickstarts my day. Like it kind of sets the tone, the pace. So
Yeah.
I think there's benefits probably to both.
Uh-huh. I feel
But
like
yeah,
it's
for me, the
more
morning.
so, like you said, your day started kind of winds my day
Yeah, and
down.
winds yours down. Yeah, I be drained by the end of the day. I just don't be having no energy.
All right. Creative hobbies or physical activities. Creating hobbies is like painting, writing, and then physical activities is like yoga, running. What do you prefer?
I would love to say creative hobbies. Now am I doing them? Kinda. Just not the things you listed. But
Just examples.
like creative hobbies is like creating content. That's creative
Yeah.
hobbies. So I would say I'm more on that. I don't know, physical activity. The most I'm doing is going to the gym. I'm not making a hobby. Well, going to the gym could be a hobby, but I think that's a lifestyle thing. I
Right.
feel like running and stuff, that's more of like a hobby. Like, okay, every Saturday morning I go running. That's like a hobby. I'm not into the hobby part of the fitness area. So I can't say that. I can't even say that.
I would say creative hobbies as well. These days I just be finding myself DIYing shit. Like I
Mm-hmm.
love to, I don't know, DIY either come out good or come out bad, but I'm learning in the process of it. So I don't mind that. Just kind of testing myself because I feel like a lot of times you don't know what you're good at until you try it. So it's like, how would you know you're gonna fail at something if you
It
don't
didn't
try
try.
it?
Mm-hmm.
The physical activities, like you say, the gym, maybe go walking with the dog or something like that. But it's not like an everyday thing, so I wouldn't call it a routine. I would say what you're doing on a regular, which is more than like you say, content. Doing something multiple times a week would be considered a hobby. So I would say creative hobbies as well. The last
Mm-hmm.
one, therapy sessions or self-help books. And I'm gonna put books / audios. I'm gonna do that.
Uh-huh. That's me then.
Uh-huh.
Over there. That's therapy book /
I knew you was
audio.
gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say
Hello,
that. You're such a what is it?
somebody. Love
Audio.
me a
I
good
know
audio
you're an
book.
audio person. I don't know. I I feel like I'd be open to therapy session just to talk. Like I don't have to be stressed out or going through something. I just feel like it's good when you're able to kind of just maybe hear someone that is older than you advice. Like, hey, a lot of times when you speak to older people too that are more mature and stuff, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't went through this, I experienced this, and it's like they just tell you their experiences to kind of guide you, and they tell you like how where they're coming from to where they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'll be more inspired because I'm like, damn, you went through that. Like I would have never, like they always say, you don't look like what you went through. So I feel like I wouldn't mind a therapy session. Listening to audio is also good. I'm 50-50 on this one because I feel like
you don't really be listening to audio.
No,
it's okay.
Wait a minute. Pause. I don't go on Spotify purposefully to listen, but like for example, if I'm researching something, usually when you research something on Google, it'll give you like a snippet of something on YouTube, and you could listen. Maybe like the first part of it, whatever the case is, the little pieces that pop up usually when you Google. So I do that. I listen to that little piece, but then I'm like, I'll take away what I got.
Listen to a full book though.
I wouldn't mind listening to a book, but it has to be one of those. What's them books that we used to read back in the day? The little hood books. I listen to those.
That is not no self-help book. So anyway, you're on the therapy side, which I'm not opposed to. That's good as well. I've never done therapy officially, so I don't know, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I feel like everybody can use a little bit.
Right.
I'm not saying you have to be in therapy for your whole life, but
therapy is it's so stigmatized too. Like it's like, oh, you got to be going through something to go, and it's like, no. Sometimes it's good, like I said, just to talk to somebody who understands, who is experienced, who may have, be going on the same path as you, and you're able to learn so much. It's like just talking, just having an outlet to really express how you feel. Like I said, sometimes you can't talk about that with your friends. Yes, God is also a therapist. You could go to him too, but sometimes it's just easier when it's a physical person in front of you. They're able to kind of say, hey, here's some tools that help me, and this is how it's going to help you, and you can help others, and you never know. So that would be my approach to that. Bro, sounds good. That silence was loud.
I'm done. I got nothing else to add. It's 8:30. Whatchamacallit?
Yep. So we are done, y'all. Also, too, y'all can let us know if y'all are liking the 8 or the 8:30.
Yes.
Right. We would like some feedback on that because we were doing 8:30, but we switched it up and started doing it a little bit earlier.
We might could do a poll.
We have obligations and things that we gotta get done. We're mamas, So thank y'all so much for tuning in. For those who pop in and out, appreciate y'all always. Don't forget to like this live. I think you can like the live, and
you can heart it, I think.
Heart it, yeah. Don't forget to go check us out on Live and Unfiltered, which will be on our podcast page. The full video will be on our YouTube page later this week, and we will have Kia hosting on next week. We're back, y'all. So just
back. So we gonna.
It was a little rough tonight. It was a little rough. Okay, it was a little rough. I haven't seen y'all in about 3 weeks.
Child, we was living our best life. It's okay. Right. We was celebrating each other, so it was a good excuse.
Yeah. All right. Thank y'all again.
Goodbye. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Good night, sis.
Good night. Bye-bye. Bye.